you know, there comes a time when you just have to start over. No matter how hard you try, how you really want it to work, no matter how many people tell you, oh, but it's beautiful and blah, blah, blah. If it's not working for you, there comes a time when you got to let it go. It's time for something new. And I'm not only talking about artworks. I mean, I tickled this one to death, like I did previously. This is the one that I made the video about yesterday. It was fine. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't right for me. So, you got to start over. New when something is not working anymore. Lots of times in your life, whether it is in your relationships, in your job, with your kids, and then most of the time what I'm talking about here is your mind. You know, you try something, you believe it needs to be like this, it needs to work like this, and you keep going and you keep going, and it just doesn't work. So then it's time to change it. So I really tried everything with this. I used so much paint, and I went over and over it, and then I like it, and then I come again, and then it's not working, and I change something, and I just came to the point where I just realized this is not working. I don't like it. I am never going to like it. So I'm just gonna use this as the base for something else. Isn't that awesome? And now the same with our lives. We go through the relationships, we go through seasons with our children where we are really struggling, a friend of mine, a child is has been on drugs for so long, and she went with him through all of it, and then he rejected her. It's just a terrible situation. And 2 days back she was asking me, you know, my son, he needs to go to his dad. It's old, I mean, he's in his 40s, the child, I assume. And she said he now needs to go to his father in Australia. Please pray for that. He needs to go, you know. And I just looked at her and I just realized, you need to let him go. And I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about mentally. And it's so awesome when we start to walk with and trust the life, abundant life in us. We also got to trust that same life in our loved ones and in everybody else, because we don't understand, but each one of us got a different path that we're on, that we need to walk in order for us to find out who we truly are in spirit, that we are abundance and spirit. And each one's path is different, but we believe, like she did, she want a specific path for her son that she believes is the right path, and that drives her crazy. That gets her to this point where nothing wants to work anymore, and she is she just had it. So all I could tell her was, trust the life in your son. The life is unconditional love. the life, abundant life, is in him as well. And that life loves him, is love, much more than you could ever love him. So even though you don't understand the route he's on, the path he's on, trust the life in him. And guess what? That will give you peace. That will give you joy in the midst of the situation. But we try to force situations, paintings, to turn out as we want. And no matter how I tried, it just didn't evolve as I wanted to. And I really got so upset, even though it was quite beautiful at the end. It wasn't what I wanted or expected. And that's what we do in life. We expect certain outcomes. We expect certain ways. But it doesn't work that way. And that is what gives us makes us hysterical. Really, it's like this thing. Then I tried this color and that didn't want to work. And then I tried this. And at the end, I became upset. And my peace is gone because I didn't enjoy the process. What if this was just the base for something else? Because that's exactly what it is. Whatever we're going through in life, it's only the stepping stone for the next step. It's not wrong. It's not a disaster. It just is what it is. A stepping stone for our next step. So this painting is just the base for something else. So I can either be upset and angry because of all the paints I used and all the time I wasted. Listen to this. We believe so many things in life. Like our child believed, my friend believed that her child is wasting his life. There's a reason that we do not see. There's a plan, even though we don't understand it. And that part of his life is only the base for something beautiful that is to come. Whether we're going to see it or not, that's beside the point. But we believe when things doesn't turn out our way that it's wasted and a waste of time. But what I am learning is it's about being in this moment. It's about doing whatever the life in me wants me to do in this moment. And that is what I did. I painted. I was busy. I was creating. And I expected joy. And I had experienced resentment and anger and whatnot. And I had to deal with all those things. So, who cares? And now what I can do is I can do on this canvas anything. I can make patterns. I can splatter. I can play. And why not? I can learn to enjoy the process instead of always trying to force everything that I do and others do to turn out as I believe it should. That is not the case in this realm. So yes, sometimes we got to let things go if they doesn't turn out as we believe they should. Let them go. move on to something else and know that that part of my life wasn't a waste. Being married to the wrong person wasn't a waste. It got you to this point where you need to be now. I talk spiritually. It made you grow. It made you realize what love isn't. It made you realize so many things that you wouldn't have known if you didn't go through that wrong layer. But it's not wrong. It was exactly what you needed in order to become the whole, unique, at ease person that you actually are. So I am also learning that each of us are absolutely unique in our own way, and the life in us wants to manifest itself differently through each and every one of us. So, but because we always judge this is right and this is wrong and this, we don't see the beauty in the process. So I'm excited to see what I am now going to create on this, what this is going to become. Because underneath what this is becoming, there's going to be so many awesome layers. I used so many different paints. I used the drip tree technique. Then I used glue, and I glued some paper towels on, and name it, and I did it. It wasn't wrong. It was just stepping stones to get me to where I need to be right now. So, my precious friend, relax. We got to learn to relax and go with the flow of what is actually happening, instead of always going against the life in us. And that is where the war starts in us. That is where we get upset and full of fear and anger and resentment, because we believe this process was wrong. But it's not. It's just a stepping stone. So let go of all your preconceived ideas of how life should turn out, also for your children, for your loved ones, for the country, for the government, for the world. We all have these preconceived ideas. And then when things go haywire, according to our preconceived ideas, we get upset and angry and resentful. And that is what makes our life terrible. It's not what's happening. It's our reaction and preconceived ideas towards what is happening, just because we don't understand it and it is not turning out our way. So my lesson for me today that I am sharing is, find joy in the journey, in the process, whatever it may be, even if it's very, very difficult. Find somehow the deep peace that is already in us. And you can only do that when you realize it's just a stepping stone. It's just another layer to get me to become the masterpiece that I was created to be. The same with my friend's son. This is just a layer, a very rough, crazy layer. This whole drug journey of him. But at the end, it will be this amazing, amazing layer, stepping stones, path to get him and everybody else that surrounds him to a beautiful, unique picture. And even if it doesn't happen in this lifetime, I don't know, I don't understand these things. I'm not saying anything. I just know that I know nothing. But I'm just learning that I am exactly what I am, where I am supposed to be in my life in this moment. I'm not talking about the painting, that too. But I'm exactly where I am supposed to be. And everything in my life is working together to get me to become who I was placed in this realm to become. Love you lots. Thank you for being you, because we need you, uniquely you. We're like this huge puzzle piece, and each one of us is this puzzle. And some of the puzzles may look at as if they're in the wrong places, and some puzzle pieces are dark and ugly, and others are beautiful and whatever. But when they place together, they make a brand new picture. If I look at my little puzzle piece, or my friend's child's as a puzzle piece, mine look oh so beautiful, and his look dark and terrible. But we are just, each one is the same important. We're just as important in the big puzzle of things. And when he is placed in his rightful place and I'm placed in mine, nobody's going to see Izette and nobody's going to see him. We're just going to see the beautiful, beautiful, big, huge puzzle. And then we're going to understand what we were in this puzzle. So we got to stop judging right and wrong and condemn people for not being a beautiful puzzle piece at this stage. Their job is just as important as our job to get this whole huge puzzle that's life to work perfectly, even though we don't understand a thing. Oh, and here I'm babbling on, so perhaps I'll show you what's coming out of this. I now first want to let this dry, and then I will see what I'm gonna do. But I love it. You should see my texture, the texture there. And when it's dry, there's gonna be lots of little colors and things peeping through. So nothing is a waste, nothing is wrong, nothing is there to destroy you. It's only your mind. Let it go. Leave what needs to be left behind and start to enjoy your journey through this realm. Is it from Zetster's Lab? If you are interested in I call this life messages, spiritual messages, whatever, on my Facebook page, Zetster's Lab Writings, you will find all of my spiritual writings. Just ask me and I'll send you the link or whatever, if you're interested. If not, good for you. If you do, good for you. Whatever, you can only do what the life in you leads you to do. So that's why my whole channel, the moment I look at how many subscribers, oh, who's gonna like this message, or should I, shouldn't I, I'm on the wrong path. Just share. Just be. Just allow the life in me to do what the life in me wants to do. So I'm doing it this morning. So all good, love you lots, is it from Zetster's lab. Let it go.